You know that feeling, right? You get a big promotion, a nice juicy raise, and you think, finally, I've made it. But then, fast forward a year, and you're somehow just as stressed about money, maybe even more so. Well, you're definitely not alone. Let's dive into why this happens and what this trap is all about.
Man, this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's about a guy named Derek, and his story is a perfect example of this hidden cost, a cost that we almost never calculate. It's not measured in dollars, you see. It's measured in hours of your life. All right, so let's get into the story. This is Derek. He's a senior software architect, and by every single metric, he should be feeling fantastic about his finances. But he's stuck right in the middle of what we're going to call the promotion paradox. Just look at these numbers. It's pretty wild. 3 years ago, Derek's making 92 grand. Not bad. Then boom, a huge promotion gets him to 128. And today, he's pulling in $141,000. That is a 53% jump in just 3 years. That should be absolutely life-changing, right? But here's the paradox, and this is the crazy part. Even though he's making almost $50,000 more a year, Derek has less cash in savings now than he did before all the raises. He's actually more stressed about money. How on earth is that even possible? Well, it wasn't some lottery winner shopping spree. It was death by 1,000 cuts, a series of small, totally logical upgrades. I got a promotion. I deserve a nicer apartment. That's an extra $800 a month. A new title needs a new car? $350 a month. A fancy gym? Better restaurants, nicer clothes. Each decision made perfect sense on its own, but together, they didn't just spend his raise, they completely swallowed it whole. He didn't get richer, his lifestyle just got way more expensive. Okay, so this is where we need to totally flip the script. This is the core idea of this whole explainer. We have to stop thinking about the cost of things in dollars and start thinking about them in what really matters, life hours. So let's zoom in on just one of those upgrades, the new apartment, an extra $800 a month. I mean, when you're making over 100 grand a year, that sounds pretty manageable, right? Almost a drop in the bucket. But of course, you stretch that out over a year, and that $800 a month suddenly becomes $9,600. Okay, that was a much heavier number. But you know what? It's still just money. The real gut punch comes when we translate this into time. Now, this is the key. Forget the salary on paper. What matters is what actually hits your bank account. For Derek, after taxes, after everything is taken out, his real take-home pay is about $42 an hour. This is the only number that truly matters for this calculation. So you do the math, and there it is. That manageable $800 upgrade for his apartment costs Derek 228 hours of his life every single year. That's nearly 6 full 40-hour work weeks. Think about that. He works all of February and half of March just to pay for a slightly nicer kitchen. So let's put a name to this beast. We're going to call it the lifestyle inflation hourly rate. It's simply the number of hours you work each year just to pay for the new, upgraded stuff in your life. It's like this invisible mortgage you've taken out on your time. And it's not just the apartment, right? When we run the numbers for everything, the car costs him another 100 hours a year. The gym, that's 45 hours. When you add up all of his little upgrades, Derek is trading 486 hours of his life every year. That's 12 full work weeks. He is literally working from January through March just to maintain his better lifestyle. That annual cost is already pretty horrifying. But what happens when that slow leak of time and money just keeps dripping for an entire 40-year career? Well, that's when things get truly mind-blowing. Imagine two possible futures. In the uninflated path, you get raises, but you consciously decide to keep your lifestyle the same and just invest the extra money. In the inflated path, which is the one most people take, every raise is matched by more spending. The results are just stark. By age 65, the person who controlled their lifestyle has almost $4 million. The other person, less than $1 million. The difference between those two paths is a staggering $2.9 million. That's the real long-term price tag of all those small, justified upgrades. It's not just a few nice things. It's millions of dollars in lost wealth and potentially an entire decade of your life you have to work longer. So you see this math, and you've got to wonder, why? Why do we do this to ourselves when the numbers are so brutal?
Well, it turns out our brains are kind of hardwired to fall right into this trap. There's a scientific term for it, hedonic adaptation. It's a really well-documented thing. Basically, it means that as humans, we get used to new situations incredibly quickly, whether they're good or bad. That new car smell, the thrill of moving into a new place, our brains are designed to make that special feeling fade away fast and return us to our normal happiness baseline. So for Derek, that initial excitement about the new apartment, that feeling of, wow, I've really made it. Yeah, that probably lasted a few months, tops. After that, it just became home. The pleasure was gone. But here's the really cruel twist. While the pleasure completely evaporates, the cost does not. That $800 payment still comes out of his account every month. Those 228 hours of his life are still required to pay for it. You're left working harder just to maintain a level of happiness you already had for free. Okay, enough doom and gloom. I know this sounds bad, but the whole point of seeing the trap is so you can learn how to sidestep it. And the good news is there's a really straightforward 4-step plan you can use to reclaim your time to buy back your freedom. Okay, here it is. Step 1, awareness. You have to actually run the numbers for yourself. Figure out your own lifestyle inflation hourly rate. Step 2, reverse calculation. Frame every potential new purchase not in dollars, but in the hours of your life it will cost. Step 3, selective downgrading. Be a surgeon. Look at your upgrades and cut the ones that bring you the least joy to instantly buy back your time. And finally, step 4, and this is the big one, create a gap. The next time you get a raise, automate it. Send that new money directly to your investment accounts before you even have a chance to spend it. And this is why that reverse calculation is so incredibly powerful. You stop asking, can I afford the $800 payment? Because the answer is probably yes. Instead, you start asking the real question. Am I willing to voluntarily sign up to work for 6 full weeks every single year just to have this apartment? When you frame it like that, the answer becomes a whole lot clearer, doesn't it? And that really gets to the fundamental truth of it all. This isn't about earning more or what you deserve. It's a simple, raw transaction. You are exchanging a finite number of hours here on Earth for the things you own and the experiences you have. So this is the question that this entire explainer really boils down to. Now that you have the tools to calculate the true cost, you can finally make a conscious choice. So look at your own life, your own upgrades, and decide, is the exchange rate you're currently getting truly worth it?